I always find it really funny when people claim that I am overly biased towards companies like Ghost or NutriBio or any of the ones that I normally hear about because, well, if you watch this video today, you might even find out that I am above any of the other ones, absolutely biased towards another company that you probably haven't expected unless you pay a lot of attention to our Q&As on Instagram.
Welcome to Price Plow.
Today I'm really excited to be talking about my first Animal product ever on Price Plow. Animal is a brand that I came up in this sport idolizing. Animal throws these events called Animal Barbell Club, which was a huge inspiration for me when I came up with BioCrew for NutriBio. Coming up and getting to train around people like Evan Centopani, Frank McGrath, Dan Green, Kevin Oak, Larry Williams, people that shaped the way that I saw the sport of powerlifting or the feat of weightlifting or how I looked at my diet. And so much of that I owe to Animal. And I think, though, that the one thing that I've always been really honest about, though, is that Animal could use a bit of facelift. I'm so excited to be talking about something positive today for them, their Pump Pro. And I'm hoping that I get to do that and give back a little bit to the brand that shaped so much of the way that I see the industry today. So before we get started, I do want to say here, we don't have a business affiliate relationship for Animal. I was given this for free by Jay over there. I've been friends with him for a while, and I reached out to him, said I'd like to do a video on Animal. This is not sponsored by Animal. We do have some business affiliate relationships with some of the ingredient companies in here we've worked with before. However, this is not specifically sponsored by Animal. So before you come at me and say that I'm talking all this bias, I want to throw that out there. But I couldn't be more happy, happier after seeing this formula on one of my brands that I wish that I could be helping give a facelift to, because it is such an incredible step forward for the brand, for the formulas. I had a talk with Jay last year when I came on with Price Plow. We wanted to work together, but I told him, I was like, look, man, I don't think you're gonna like the videos I'm gonna do if you don't offer some transparency, don't offer some improvements in formulas. So let's jump in and talk about what's improved in Animal with this formula and what do I like so much about it. This is an updated formula. If you go over to their site or some of the older listings, you'll see one change, which is actually even an improved change, which I'm happy about. And the first ingredient that you'll see will be different depending on which product that you pick up. If you pick up an old product, the first ingredient is probably going to be citrulline malate, I think. If you pick up a new one, the first ingredient is going to be creatine monohydrate. They were previously using citrulline malate, which I'm happy that they moved to citrulline, and we'll get to that in a second. But it was at a higher dose, so it was obviously higher. Now, if you pick up the newest version, you're going to pick up, and it's going to say creatine monohydrate, 5 grams. This is amazing. I love the fact that they just went in straight up with 5 grams creatine monohydrate. There's no bouncing around with hydrochlorides, crealkalins, any other kinds of creatine, or any kind of underdose kinds of creatine. 5 grams creatine, boom, done for the day. That's all you need. Next one is citrulline. Now, previously they were using citrulline malate, which was clumping for them really bad. Now, citrulline malate is citrulline and malic acid mixed together. They pulled that out and ended up with just 4 grams of citrulline, which I'm happy because as compared to previously, there's actually more citrulline in the product now because there's no malic acid watering down the citrulline. So 4 grams citrulline is the base clinical dose for citrulline. They're not overdoing it with 6, 8, 12, whatever. They're sticking to their guns with just what needs to be there. If it was the only pump ingredient here, I might feel like I wish there was a little bit more. But I'm happy to see they followed it up with, I'm going to skip one ingredient for a second and run down the bottom, inositol-stabilized arginine silicate as nitrosigine, 1.5 grams here. So the 4 grams of citrulline and the nitrosigine, I like to see together. Now, nitrosigine was shown in a study at the University of Nebraska last year to be pretty much just as effective as 8 grams of citrulline malate. Now, that would have yielded 6 grams of pure citrulline. So here we're looking at 4 grams versus the 6 grams in the study. So it's almost as even to the nitrosigine, but I'm happy to see 2 different ingredients doing the pump here. So the ingredient that I skipped over is Hydromax. They've got 3 grams of glycerol powder at 65% as Hydromax. Hydromax is from Glanbia. It is a stabilized glycerol powder. It'll help bring water into the muscle, give you a bit of a water pump. So citrulline and nitrosigine here are helping with the blood flow to the muscles. Nitrosigine also helps with blood flow to the brain, and it also helps with blood flow post-workout for up to 6 hours, I'm told. So you're looking at 2 different pump ingredients here for blood flow, and they follow that up with a cellular hydration formula, which kind of helps out a lot with pump from a water perspective. And like I said at the beginning, creatine, which is going to be more of a long-term ingredient. There are some acute benefits, but I'm not going to talk about them. Mostly we're looking here for the long-term benefits of adding sets, reps, weight over time, which is going to help with your progressive overload. Now, we move into the energy and focus matrix. So this is a pump product, but also a little bit of a focus matrix. It's completely stim-free, but there are a few things here that will help with your focus in the gym, maybe with that mind-muscle connection, focus on your workout, stuff like that. Tyrosine at 2 grams. I'm a big fan of tyrosine. I like pure L-Tyrosine. No acetyl L-Tyrosine here. Pure L-Tyrosine. It starts for me around like 500 milligrams, but I prefer over a gram, so I'm happy to see 2 grams here. If you pump it to 3 grams, you actually get some really cool effects. At least I do. I feel very interesting effects from it. But at 2 grams here, we're above average by far and really enjoying the feeling. Now, we move right into Alpha-GPC, which is a 50% choline powder. They've got 600 milligrams in here, which I'm happy to see. It's a great dose for Alpha-GPC. Alpha-GPC is like above average choline value or quality. With cholines, we start at the bottom with like choline bitartrate, depending on the type. And then we move into Alpha-GPC. You can look at cytocholine, phosphatidylcholine, but as you get higher up in the quality of cholines, they get a little bit harder to work with. They can turn into some black slime, and they're not very easy to work with in terms of clumping. So Alpha-GPC, I would theorize, is probably your cost versus quality versus working easiness, perfect spot. You got 600 milligrams of here, which at 50% comes up to 300 milligrams of choline. Super happy with that. They follow that up with Huperzine A, which is really cool because when you supplement Alpha-GPC, you're creating acetylcholine in the body. Now, acetylcholine is broken down by acetylcholine esterase. Huperzine A can break down acetylcholine esterase, so not only are you creating more acetylcholine in your body, you're making sure that it lasts longer in the body, which is going to be really helpful for your focus. We round off the entire formula with 400 milligrams of sea salt, which yields about 170 milligrams of sodium, and I think there was also 100 milligrams of potassium from the Nitrosigine. So you have a little bit of electrolytes here. It's not a super high dose. If you're sensitive to sodium, if it raises your blood pressure, this is not going to be a dose that's going to bother you. But sea salt is helpful for increasing your pump. Personally, I think you should be salting all of your meals all day long. I don't really believe in salting your pre-workout too heavily. That bolus dose of salt can cause blood pressure issues for some people, but this dose here is not too bad. Just be mindful that the rest of the day you should be salting your meals if you are an athlete as well. As an athlete, we can handle a lot more sodium, and we probably should be using it because we're sweating out our electrolytes more often than most human beings are. So, there. 22 grams of active ingredients. I think it's a great product for animal. It's a big step forward. While I was there, I was talking with them a couple of new products that are going to be coming out over the next couple months, which I'm super excited for them to see more transparency, more quality, and stepping into 2020 in a positive way. Not looking at all the other stuff that happened in 2020. In any case, I'm super proud to finally be talking about Animal on here. Animal obviously has shaped so much of this industry, from their animal cage, their content, to the way they've used influencers since before people were really doing influencer marketing. Their products have supported and helped tons of bodybuilding champions and world records in powerlifting and strongman records. So I'm super proud to be giving back to them and supporting them with this review. Obviously, if you have any questions about Animal, you can go to priceplow.com/animal, or you can comment below, because any comments that you have, I would love to talk about the product with you. Now, I'm sure we're gonna get some comments like, oh, it's time Animal finally stepped into, some negative and stuff like that. And that's fine. Animal has been a little bit behind on the formulas for some time, but I want this to serve as a sign of positivity, because there's not a lot you can knock on this formula, and I think it's a good step for Animal. So, guys, if you made this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, have a great day.
Welcome to Price Plow.